Hey guys, we're checking out a house today for a customer that is a little ways out of town. So we're just gonna do a quick inspection video for him. It's a pretty basic roof line, which is really nice, single story home. It does have ventilated soffit, good to see. So we should be getting some airflow. Unfortunately, I think we have a lack of ventilation. We can see that there's no ridge vent. We're gonna jump up and look at a couple things, but like I was saying, we can see that there is soffit vents. So underneath, all through here, we do have some air entering into that cavity, which is really good to see. As we come up, we can see that they've got C-drip on the edges here. So obviously when we know we have C-drip, then we know we have an overlay of existing shingles. We can pop that up. We can see some existing shingles right underneath, clear as day, no big deal. What we're starting to see in a couple areas are what we're used to seeing. So there's a little bit of nail pops going on, just barely starting to form. Some older hail damage. Obviously you can tell the roof's been here for a while, so there's some spots. On the eaves, you can start to see it's getting a little chewed up pretty well. It's doing a good job resisting the algae from the trees and the moss and everything, but I'd have to say that I don't think the shingle's all that old. It's a non-dimensional 3-tab. For it holding up as well as it is, I'd probably say that this was put on somewhere around 2005 or so, maybe a little bit earlier than that. Some zinc strips, so somebody was trying to keep that moss and mildew away, so it probably worked a little bit. Outside of that though, again, no ventilation, so we don't have any ridge vent and we don't have any box vents. The big issue there is obviously we're not allowing this space to breathe. So even if it's a low pitch and there's not a cavity space as in like an attic, we still want to have air flowing from the bottom of the eaves up through the roof line and then out to exhaust out of the roof at the highest point. The negative of what we have right now, we have this big depression over here on this side of the roof, and what I'm assuming and what I'm thinking that depression might be from is either some dry rot or just some general deterioration. There's no penetrations there, so it's hard to say that this area would have collapsed for any specific reason other than snow load and just basic deterioration underneath. More than likely the substrate's just totally shot, and then once the snow sat there, it finally just got to a point where it broke from the ice dams or whatever it might be. Homeowner's not living in this space currently, so a little difficult to say. They had asked about a repair. We wouldn't be the kind of company that could offer a repair on this. The only thing that we could do is we could do from this ridge line down, so this back side of the roof, if you wanted to do just this back half. It does stink because some of the boots and everything you can tell are relatively new, or at least were when the roof was put on. But again, with the moss and algae, there we go, it's just starting to build up pretty well over here. With that starting to take place, and then the depressions and the deviation that you see in the roof line, there's no safe way to be able to warranty this roof and be able to stand behind it. Biggest thing there is, again, you might be able to find a handyman that can slap some wood up and shingle over or do something different in that area. But for us to be able to tie into this and then be able to warranty it, all this would have to get removed and replaced. New chimney would get, obviously, new chimney flashing around the bottom base, make sure that that's flashed properly instead of just tarring it. That would be a big advantage. Outside of that, allowing some airflow into the house and making sure that the air is exhausting out of the roof line. It's a single story home. Is it going to help with the energy bill? Probably not. Is it going to help with the comfort level of the home? It should. But the big thing is it's going to add to longevity to the roof line. Otherwise, what we're going to start to see on this roof is these shingles are going to start to curl relatively quickly, above and beyond what we're seeing on the eaves and everything, but actually up more courses high. Now outside of that, it is pretty straightforward. The deterioration again is pretty minimal. Some of the off-put here you can tell just from the original install. You can see the staggered seams, larger, smaller in a couple spots. So not anything terrible, but like I said, definitely time for a good update and to allow for some proper airflow and the products to bring it up to code standards for today.